This video was produced by The Top Cut. Be sure to check out thetopcut.net, your home for Pokemon TCG, tournament coverage, professional game analysis, and interviews with the best players in the world. Thanks for watching. Okay, we're here for Game 2 from the Wisconsin Regional Top 16 between Tyson, Stephan on the left, and Vince Blasko on the right. So in the first game, Tyson got a pretty perfect start and rolled over Vince. Vince really had nothing, and he just kind of rolled over and died very quickly. So we're hoping for a little bit of a better game here in the second one. Now right off the bat, Vince does use Portrait from Smeargle, takes a look at Tyson's hand, and he sees absolutely nothing, which probably was not what he wanted to see. He did have 2 Junipers in his hand and some other cards. Looks like he did not want to use that Juniper, but seeing Tyson's hand, he's kind of forced to go for it. And now we'll see, does Vince have some cards to put pressure on Tyson early on? We do see that Virizion in his hand. It's kind of become Vince's trademark here throughout this tournament. And hey, he got a heads on a dual ball. Congratulations, Vince, you got one. So he's going to take a look through his deck, and he'll be able to grab one basic Pokemon and put it into his hand. I think he's like 1 for 8 or 1 for 10 now. Not bad. So he grabs a Tornadus. So let's see, does he put down the Virizion? And yes, he will. He's going to Force Breath, attach, and then switch to his Celebi, and Giga Drain for 30 damage. So for those of you who don't know, this Virizion is the lesser played one. For 2 energy it does 30, and then heals as much damage as it does. So usually it'll do 30 and heal 30. And for 3 energy, it does 100 with Sacred Sword, which just does 100 straight up, and then next turn you just can't use Sacred Sword. So, looks like Tyson is going to Communication for that Smeargle. He's going to try the same thing Vince did at the beginning of the game. He wants to get bailed out, see if Vince has a supporter in his hand, and really this is going to be a defining moment in the game. Does Vince have a supporter in his hand? If he does, Tyson's going to be able to copy it and start to get set up, hopefully. If not, Tyson has nothing to work with. And Virizion might run him over for all 6 prizes. Now, this could be the first time in history we see Virizion sweep somebody, but it can happen. So let's see if Virizion can pull this one off, or does Vince have a supporter? Now Tyson has a switch in his hand and a lightning. He decides to go with the switch. See, there's always a risk involved with Portrait. If your opponent has a Juniper, you want to play out cards so you don't have to discard them. But we see Vince has Tornadus and an energy and another Pokemon, and that means no supporter. So Tyson, you're in a little bit of trouble here. Neither player has any supporters, but Vince has the Virizion ready to attack. And now Tyson, he's just going to retreat and save his Smeargle and just Mischievous Punch for 30. Trying to buy some time. And Vince does not draw a supporter, I don't... Or did he? I can't see. Looks like he puts down a Tornadus with an... Oh, he actually drew an Oak's New Theory, so this could actually be good for Tyson. If Virizion... or if Vince draws a supporter from his 6 cards and then cannot get rid of it, Tyson could use Portrait and copy that supporter and start to get set up and maybe make a run of this game. Now, if Vince were to draw a catcher, he'd probably go for Smeargle, but he actually already attached 2 Tornadus, so never mind. All he can do is Giga Drain this turn, and he'll actually heal off the 30 from Tyrogue. And now Tyson... he's going to Portrait, and once again, Vince has no supporter. So Vince drawing poorly is keeping him in the lead in this game. And could we see Virizion Sacred Sword his way to victory? Vince catches out Smeargle, and there you have it. The first ever Virizion sweep I've ever seen in my life. Thanks to Vince. Sacred Sword for the win. Tyson's just going to scoop up his cards. I'm not sure why he didn't just see what his top card was and try to play it out. This game was not over, but he would have been down by 2 prizes. and had no energy, no dynamos, no energy acceleration in play. So even if he were to top deck a Juniper, which would have been the perfect card for him, I don't think he could have come back that game. So Vince will take a very quick game in a very shocking fashion. Virizion takes down a Tyrogue and a Smeargle and asserts its dominance. So we will be moving on to the deciding Game 3 to see who moves on to the top 8 at the Wisconsin Regional Championship. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.